Persona is the most beloved piece of media to ever grace our screens. Everyone, no exception, loves it for the experimental style of its prologue, its storytelling and its incredible ending. The story of the young Norse Alma and her patient who has suddenly stopped speak. Oh crap, I'm reading a wrong wiki page. Persona games are great because they give us a chance to live our wildest fantasy, having friends in high school. It's everyone's favorite game series. Everyone! Except me! Because after finishing Persona 5 Tactica, I've got a bone to pick with you, Atlus. Okay, more of a nitpick really, but I'm a sucker for theatrics. Let me be clear, Persona 1, Persona 2, Persona 3, all of them are amazing. I made 1,000 people angry with that. Looking back to these games, I find it interesting to see how the approach to its themes evolved. Persona 3 is typically seen as the most serious of the bunch, because the theme of death was front and center, and the most prophetic, because it predicted that the best girl you could find in your life weighs alpha ton and is entirely made of metal. And yeah, death is a very real thing, but we're hardwired to ignore it. Our brains avoid thinking of death by pretending it's not gonna happen anytime soon, otherwise we would all collectively go batshit crazy.
So it basically just stamp it out, it delivers these pulses of light. It feels like you're getting branded.
Right, that sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Persona 4 felt a bit more grounded. Now it's about the search for truth, inner acceptance, becoming open-minded towards other people's way of life. I'm not too familiar with those subjects cause Twitter is feeding me Fox News clips non-stop, but I'm sure that stuff resonated with plenty of gamers. Persona 5, however, is where we get real, man. Teachers are evil, politicians are evil, TV personalities are evil, fast food is evil, even the Mac Toast? Even the Mac Toast! The jet music and funky style help us forget that this is the game that started with a teenager jumping from a roof because she was being abused. Ah, how do I segue urban free falling with a joke without sounding like a dick? Oh wait, she's alive! Oh, thank God! How reassuring! I'm feeling all fuzzy inside now. Except that's when the problem started. Okay, that sounds even worse than I thought it would, but bear with me. I didn't want Pushio here to die a horrible premature death, but that's kind of what should happen, no? Girl suffers a terrible fate, your teammate gets even more pissed at the teacher responsible for all that, she turns Super Saiyan and destroys the patriarchy with whips and angry looks. Bing boom bam, conflict and drama are served. But Shiho survives. Shiho conveniently disappears from the story. Shiho only reappears in the side content to reassure you that now she's fine and she's getting over all the stuff I can't name without getting the YouTube bots angry. But what happened is that the writers chickened out and the end result cheapens the story.
For kids.
No matter how threatening the enemy is, no matter how desperate the situation gets, Persona has become terribly afraid of hurting its characters. Oh my god, Luigi has exploded! His entire body is devoured by the flames! What am I going to say to his mom? How will we— oh, never mind, he's fine. He's fine, he covered himself in Szechuan sauce or something. Szechuan? Whatever, that McDonald's thing.
I want Szechuan sauce! I'm pickle ready!
These kids are immortal, alright? Next Fallout game, make all the characters anime people and put Godzilla instead of nukes. I'm not saying that killing of children automatically makes a plot better, arguably. My issue here is the frankly absurd amount of plot armor Persona 5 grants to every character unless they're the bad guys. And even that line is more fragile than the Korean borders. But I hear you, you know? Persona is supposed to show kids defeating evil through the power of friendship and committing more deicide than goddamn Kratos. We can't have them just getting— Okay, that doesn't count, alright? Shinjiro was, what, 18? By anime standards, he basically died of natural causes. It's the little kids we can— that's just the bad bad ending. Duh, that's what makes it bad. If you screw up, the credits roll, leaving you cry like the baby you just got killed. That's the whole point. And that's kind of the last time Atlus had the balls to pull a stunt like that. 1 year later, already they corrected Shinjiro's death in the portable version of Persona 3 by allowing you to stop bullets through the power of love. And that's not even a joke, it's literally what happens. It's too stupid even by anime standards. Could it be that Atlus noticed Japan's shrinking teenage population and thought they should preserve the youth at least in digital form? I wanna see how you justify this then. Okay, this one might need a bit of an explanation. This is Catherine, or better yet, this is Persona 5 before Persona 5. It's a Persona game, alright? You still have the same director, you still go through the same daytime-nighttime cycle, well, more like nighttime-bedtime cycle. You still have a social component, you still end up fighting God at the end, you still tiptoe around trans jokes, it's a Persona game. The only difference here is that everyone is an adult. So surely Atlus won't have an issue putting them in some real danger. How many of them die? 0. What about the bad endings? Still 0. Hey, that girl just got stabbed! It's a nightmare vision! Thankfully they won't pull off that same trick twice. Okay, but this one was well executed, just let's not do it again, okay, Atlus? Atlus, is it okay? No more fake dream dead.
Looks like the only me that disappeared was the one in the metaverse.
Oh, you goddamn bastards, you couldn't even let the pussycat die. And we could justify this by saying that they need to keep the main cast for the 40 spin-off games. Sure, but that excuse doesn't really work for the new characters you're adding in those self-contained stories, Atlus. You don't even acknowledge them in the canon, just look at poor Yoshizawa abandoned in the pits of Royale. What did you do with her? She looked up her name on Route 34 and took a one-way rocket to an asteroid. Okay, fair, but that doesn't give you carte blanche to keep doing the same fake-out death scrap. Which finally brings me to Tactica and how it basically crushed any sense of peril in just 4 hours. So basically the prologue. This is Irina, she's the new cast member in Tactica and she's well, she's a character, right? She's fine, and at least she doesn't whine all the time like this dude over here, so overall I warmed up to her. Oh my god! They shot her point blank! Are we doing it? Are we finally doing it? Look, there's the dude, and the dude saw her die, and yes, we're getting an actual kill confirmed! And now dude will go, wow, and awaken his persona, it's gonna be so cool!
That's great. Don't you worry.
How long are you going to keep deluding yourself?
I'm done with this. I give up. There are no stakes. Everything is goddamn perfect. It's a beautiful paradise where nobody dies, no one is in danger, and screw you, Atlus. The game is already a chore by the halfway point onwards, so the least you could do was having the bare minimum amount of respect for my intelligence. But hey, why do I keep blaming Atlus? It's a conglomerate of development studios and publishers. Surely, it's the writers of each Persona who are at fault here. Wait, didn't the director of Persona 3, 4, and 5 release a game last year? Come on, Mr. Persona Man, you can admit it to me. It felt really good when you wrote that part of the story, didn't it? So clearly, Atlus games don't have a problem killing off main characters. Clearly, you just don't want Persona characters to die. And I can't see what those crazy bastards say in their offices. Maybe they noticed an overlap between their target audience and people were still pissed at The Last of Us 2, so they figured they better not risk it. Or maybe researchers showed them that putting teenagers on the chopping block is bad for business and is destined to make your series fail immediately. So here's Danganronpa, a franchise that is all about putting teenagers on the chopping block. See these kids? Danganronpa will make sure that at least 3/4 of them become your new favorite characters before literally throwing them into lava. Seriously, this series just doesn't give a flying shit about your feelings. If you look up Danganronpa on YouTube, one of the first results is an hour-long compilation of every character death, and it's just 4 games. And yet, that doesn't stop fans from loving this series. Oh my, too much love. Mr. RoboKnob, I've never heard of these games. They seem pretty cool. Well, it might be because they're novels. What did you say? Oh, they're novels. They're visual novels. Screw you! If you can get through 100 hours of Persona, you can get through a visual novel. Besides, it's got actual gameplay, even its own version of social links. I'm telling you, if you like Persona, this is right up your alley without constantly bullshitting you with a cast whose entire existence is beating Jesus' respawn time record. So ultimately, Atlus, what's really stopping you? Why do you keep brushing that edge and never commit to it? Money. It's clearly money at this point. I can't come up with any other line of reasoning, because yes, they could still sell you plastic dolls of your favorite waifus, but then you might be all gloomy looking at them knowing they died, and nobody likes a sad wank.